Thousands of Hong Kong residents could be under the city's first COVID-19 lockdown by the end of the weekend. The drastic measure is likely to be taken to contain a growing coronavirus outbreak. There's no confirmation as yet, but there's widespread media speculation.
Hong Kong is set to impose a lockdown in the densely populated area of Kowloon this weekend. Thousands of residents living in some 150 buildings within the Yau Sim Mong district will be ordered to stay home. Only those who test negative for COVID-19 are allowed to leave their buildings, but not the affected neighbourhood. Over 1,700 officers will be deployed to ensure compliance. Food and daily necessities will be provided for residents. As for the timeline, authorities say the lockdown will be lifted once everyone has been tested for COVID-19. The drastic measure comes after sewage testing devices in the district showed traces of the virus. Last week, 4 blocks in the district were isolated, with residents put in quarantine. But that did not stem the spread of COVID-19. Half of the daily new infections in the past week have come from the district despite mandatory testing. Hong Kong is planning to roll its vaccine program next month, pending approval for the Pfizer-BioNTech jab. The city has logged nearly 10,000 infections, along with over 160 deaths so far.
Dennis Chung joins us live from Hong Kong for more on this. Dennis, this will be the first coronavirus lockdown in Hong Kong. What are the reactions to this drastic measure?
That's right. Although the government has not made any official announcement about the lockdown, district councillors have already been telling local media that quite a few residents in the area have already left their homes because they fear that they can't go back to work in the coming days. And a lot of them are, of course, stocking up supplies. It's been a year since local authorities have had to make a series of tough choices to contain the outbreak, and they have been quite cautious in adopting drastic measures like this one. At one point, for example, restaurants were banned from providing dine-in services, and the ban had to be partially lifted because of a public outcry about the inconvenience that was caused. And even the annual Chinese New Year flower market earlier next month is now going ahead, although there was a plan to shelve it because there were criticism from business owners and farmers. But now the lockdown partially coming into place as early as midnight tonight, according to some reports, this is going to be one of the strictest measures adopted by the authorities so far.
And are experts confident that the latest move will blunt the spike?
Yeah, officials perhaps have enough to worry about because in certain buildings in this area, COVID-19 virus is detected in the drainage system. Today, for example, among the 61 confirmed cases, 24 of them came from this particular Yau Sim Mong district. But many of the buildings that would fall under the lockdown zone, they had already been required to carry out mandatory testings for residents since the outbreak started as early as 2 weeks ago. As a result, some experts are worried that the scope of the outbreak might have already been expanded beyond this district before the lockdown. So if the lockdown did proceed, it would possibly involve thousands of residents in this densely populated area, also known for its very aging community and low-income groups living in the city's notorious subdivided flats. As we mentioned just now, some local councillors have noticed residents are already fleeing as early as 2 weeks ago since the first cases emerged. So they're quite worried that the official lockdown, whether or not it will actually bring some positive effect, or would it create some chaotic situation if it's not executed properly.
All right, many thanks. Dennis Chung speaking to us from Hong Kong.